we're going to do today is write a SBIR phase 2 technical volume, right? So I picked a technical volume, or a topic rather, that I think we can go towards. Because they're SBIRs, right? They're fairly technical in nature. So I picked a topic that I knew at least a little bit about. So I didn't choose it completely at random, but I am 100% not interested in writing any proposals to this topic. So let's find it. So KLV enhanced orthomosaic image generation for FMV, right? So this is the topic I'm going to propose to today, right? This is a direct to phase 2 proposal topic, right? So it's a little bit more robust than your sort of standard SBIR phase 1. Typically, they're about 25 pages in length for a phase 2 proposal topic. So that's what we're going to go after. Anything we talk about today, you can basically take a phase 1 proposal and just kind of crunch down the amount of content you need to build for it. So step 1 is obviously pick what topic you want to propose to. Step 2, before we get actually into Rogue, what I like to do is I take the topic, right? I will download the actual topic details, right? So this gives you basically a PDF version of all the topic information. I will also download all of the references that they list. Okay, so and actually in this text they reference MISB 0601 standard, right, which is a reference number 1. So Motion Imagery Standards Board. So they give you that link. I just went to that link and found that document. Let's see, 06. And I'll just go ahead and download that specific document, right? I'm just going to take it down completely. Download that to my computer, put it in my proposal folder, right? And I'm going to do that for every one of the listed documents. And the reason we're going to do that is because that information, that content is going to act as feedstock for our proposal writing process, right? So if it's important enough for them to list it as a topic reference, it's inherently probably important enough for us to at least save that content and provide it to the AI for reference. Right, so I'm going to do that for most of the other ones. In some cases, like this one, let's take a look at what that looks like. Ironically enough, this is a US DoD SBIR topic that is referencing a Chinese university research paper. I don't make this stuff up. But this one, like, there's no link here for me to download this, right? There's no download link. I can share it as a link, but there's nothing, right? There's no actual PDF I can download. So I just went ahead and copied all this content and pasted it into a Word document. And then I uploaded that Word document. So in those cases, you can do that. In some cases, this really annoys me when they reference something that you have to be a member of IEEE to download, or you have to pay hundreds of dollars to download the referenced article. I honestly have my doubts as to whether or not they even read these articles, or if they just do like a Google Scholar search and look for relevant paper topics. Doesn't matter to me. I'm personally not going to download this one. It is what it is. It's probably not worth the time. Okay, so step 1, find the topic you want to propose to. Step 2, download the reference documents. Step 3, we're actually going to jump into Rogue. Okay, so here I'm going to come in and I'm going to start a new proposal, right? So let's create a new proposal. Okay, let's go ahead and name the proposal. So what's the name of that topic? Let's make sure we get the topic name right. Pretty simple. and I like to do these on DoD, SBIR topics. You can do this with DHS, and uh, NASA, National Science Foundation. Like they all kind of have somewhat different topic formats and proposal formats. Some of them have multi-stage proposal processes, like National Science Foundation and NASA. But when you get down to the actual writing process, it's fairly similar, right? So created a war room, named the war room the topic so we can find it very easily. If I go back out to my dashboard, there's my new topic. Okay. Then step two, we're going to go in and we're going to populate our data shelf, right? So in here, I'm going to grab those documents that I just downloaded. So we'll add those in, do it one at a time. I'll go ahead and add in the actual topic file that they posted on the DCIP website or the SBIR website. Now, what I'm going to do, I know that I've done proposals like this in the past. And you'll notice that after I've uploaded these documents, they actually show up in here as reference status, right? So the way that we set this up is if you took the time to upload a document at the war room level, right, then you specifically want that document referenced. So it automatically references it, okay? But the way that this works is if a document is marked for reference, that is the document, those are the only documents, right? That is the subset of your entire data shelf that the AI will reference when it's doing its proposal writing. So I'm going to unmark these items so that the AI doesn't just reference the documents that I uploaded, right? It's going to reference my entire data shelf. So if I've written proposals that are relevant to aerial orthomosaic generation for UAVs, which I may have, it's going to index all of those documents, not just those specific ones. Okay, next in our typical workflow is to go and build a compliance matrix. To be perfectly honest with you, like let's look at the BAA for an SBIR. This thing is, some number of hundreds of pages long. I'm not going to upload this whole thing, right? Because let's look, how many shall statements are there in here? Okay, there's a grand total of 65 shall statements, right? And almost none of them are relevant to actually writing a proposal. Okay, this is not a FAR Part 15, a FAR Part 16.5. This is not a full up RFP solicitation. This is a broad agency announcement. Broad agency announcements have a bunch of topics in them. They are not structured with the traditional Section C, Section L, Section M like your traditional solicitations are. So I'm not going to do a compliance matrix on here. I'm going to read the instructions in the BAA and just make sure that I'm answering those instructions. Okay. I'm not worrying about sections O and M. So if I want to figure out what those instructions are, I can just go straight to phase 2 proposal evaluation information, right? And I can read these instructions. Make sure you have a commercialization strategy. Here's your eval criteria, right? This does not warrant building out an entire compliance matrix. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip that part. I'm going to go straight to actually writing a document. Same thing. The outline, I don't need to upload a solicitation and have the AI generate for me an outline because the outline is almost always the same and is specified and stipulated. For phase 2 proposals, it is almost always stipulated at the component level. So the Navy phase 2 proposal or phase 2 format is different from the OSD format, different from the Air Force format. They're generally the same in most cases, but they are somewhat different. So you have to go find that specific format, and then Yep, phase two technical volume. Okay, I'm actually just going to use a template. Okay, so here's all my different templates I have. I'm going to take a phase two template. I don't think that one's very good. Let me go back to my actual templates. Let's see. Phase two. Use a preset template. I'm going to use one of these preset templates off of my template shelf. So if you didn't catch all of that, we have these preset templates, particularly for SBIRs, that are already built into the system. So what you can do is you can take one of those preset templates and basically fork it. So you take the template we have on the shelf, and then you can modify it, adjust it, make it your own for the purposes of your proposal writing, for your SBIR topics, right? So now I have DoD SBIR. So the 24.2, this one, right? This is the one I want to use. And I could make it even more specific just so there's no question there. Now I'm going to make sure that it's live, it's not draft, right? And so here it is. There's my new template. So when I go to actually write a proposal, okay, so if you're watching, when I go to write a proposal, I don't already have a template available for me. Okay, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click new document. I'm going to hit create a new draft. I'm going to name that draft. Okay, and then I'm going to pick that new template. I'm going to use this template. Now, from here, I am going to customize this template. I'm going to put a little bit of time up front to ensure that I don't have to do as much writing on the back end. Okay, what does that mean? I'm going to make sure that the instructions in here for the AI are tailored. Okay, I'm going to make sure that the instructions for content length are tailored so that it matches what I want the AI to generate for me. Milestone identification. Okay. Tell it what kind of milestone, how I want it to format my milestones chart. Okay. Technical objectives. I want to dial this one up. And I also want to tailor this. So I'm going to give it some specific instructions. Detail the specific objectives of a phase two work. Describe the technical approach and methods to be used. Meeting these objectives. This proposal should also include an assessment potential. I'm going to take this part out. Objectives should include leveraging US-based open source development to the greatest extent possible. Objectives should include using open standards to achieve. Let's go with maximum interoperability. Include native ability with UAS systems. Good with finding systems. All right, so you get the picture, right? I'm going to give this as much detail as I want, right? So that up front, the AI has navigation. Okay, the AI has insights from me on how I want it to write. Okay. If I leave it to its own devices, I'm going to have to clean it up on the backside, which is going to inherently take me more time. If I give it some of these lightweight instructions on the front end as I'm building out this outline, then it knows what I want it to work on, right? What I want it to write to. So I will have a draft that I can work from when I get into that initial draft, which we'll show you in a second. Work plan, objective. Okay, that's fine. 5 paragraphs is fine. Scope. Work. Accomplished. This is good. Okay, background. This is good. I'm going to dial this up, this background section, so I know that the AI really articulates that I know what the customer wants and needs, right? Dial that up to 2 pages. Tasks and technical requirements. I want this to be really detailed. Build a highly detailed technical approach to delivering the required capability while achieving the following objectives. So I just took the objectives from up here, right? And I dropped them back down in here just to restate it. And I'm actually going to, let's see if we can't dial that up a little bit more. 3 pages. Let's see, deliverables, technical reports. Let's promise them some additional reports in here. So let's go with monthly status reports. Give out some instructions. We'll give this, let's do a preliminary design review report. Great if I could spell. Preliminary design review. Monthly status reports. get a critical design review report in there too. Yes, yes. Let's see, this should all be fine. Activities, dial that up a little bit. Dial that up a little bit. Relationship to future R&D. That's fine. That's good. So now let's go to the important part, which is the description. So for the description, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to DSIP, pull that topic, and we are going to grab all this stuff, right? Fortunately, they kind of give us a description. Fine. I'm just going to grab all of it, even though I don't need phase one. We'll go back to Rogue. I'm going to drop that in here. Obviously, it's a ton of stuff. Don't necessarily need all of it. I definitely don't need phase one. Don't need references to phase two. Fine. Well, this is good. And I could just drop this in the way I have it. I probably don't need, yeah, it's fine. I'm actually just going to drop this in here into the chat. And I'm going to see what the chat provides me back, because not only do I want this description of objective and whatnot, I also want to see what it pulls out in terms of win themes. We'll give that just a second. Okay, cool. That's actually not bad. So I'm going to actually crush this, copy this in. Okay, and then I'm going to adjust some of the win themes personally. So compliance and security, adhering to CUI guidelines prepared, classified. So I'm going to say development and prototype deployment in and impact 5 cloud development and containerization for deployment to an impact level 6. And so I'll tailor that a little bit. Impact. All right, and then we're just going to hit next and let's build it. Obviously, I gave it a really robust outline, and we have probably about 20 pages of content here. So, what I would want to do once this gets done is first things first, I want to make sure that it hasn't put anything in there that is irrelevant or errant, right? So, like if I give it a key personnel area here, and I didn't specify in the key personnel area which resumes I wanted it to use, it's most likely going to pull in content, right? It's going to put, you can call this hallucination if you want. I don't consider it hallucination. Consider it the AI following the instructions that you gave it, right? We told it to provide resumes and tell it what resumes to put in. So one of the things you should do in the outlining step is specify, if you have key personnel, specify which resumes you want it to use, right? Make sure those resumes are on the data shelf and the AI will use that content to generate those resumes. Okay. The other thing I want to do is I want to go in here and make sure that these larger sections, some of these sections I don't want to be necessarily this long, right? So like the preliminary design review report, I don't necessarily need this whole thing laid out in sort of chapter, line, and verse. I can just grab this content, right? And in the writing interface, I can hit concise and it'll crunch that down to just basically a summary of what that document deliverable would be, right? What I want to do then is I want to focus on the most important things, which is going to be my technical approach, right? So if I'm writing an SBIR proposal, I want to make sure that I have the technical objectives really robust, and I want to make sure that I have my technical approach really robust. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start expanding on each of these sections so that my final draft, right, my final output is really heavily technical, right? We check all the required content boxes. Sure, right? We've got a military application space in here. I want to make sure that this is all relevant also. So you'll notice also in here, like for further information, I'm going to want to replace these Jane Does and John Does with real people. Okay. Really good content, really good outline, but I want that to be contextualized to real people. So the important meta here is make sure that you go through and check what the AI writes and make sure that the AI writes really high quality content, right? That is relevant to the topic you're responding to. Like I said, this is going to keep building. The nice thing is that like the structure, the content, the form is all really high quality. So I can use all of this content, right? It's taken me it's taken me about an hour to get to what I would consider to be kind of a pink team document for an SBIR proposal. I need to go in and make it a little bit more tailored to my particular technical approach, my specific company. I want to make sure that I really knock it out of the park. But for the first cut of a document, right, it's taken us less time to do this, to build out a first draft, a 20-page first draft, right, an 80% final product in the same amount of time that it would normally take someone to do an annotated outline of a proposal, right? That is just a massive step change in capacity and velocity in your proposal writing tasks. So it's now time. I'm going to stop the webinar and run this down. I will post this video and a guide later this week so that you can have kind of a full step-by-step on how to do this. But that's basically the steps is find your topic, download the relevant topic documents, create a war room, upload those documents into the war room, create an outline, and then do this initial generation with a really robust outline. And as you can see, it will provide you with a really robust initial product to work from.